So, good morning students. In last class we have discussed that is the productivity as well as the decomposition. So, productivity means here there are two types of productivities. The amount of biomass present in an organism, so that is called as the productivity, where here it is in the form of it is taken place in the form of weight biomass, that is a weight means here grams per meter square per year, or it is in energy means kilocalories per meter square per, and here it is taken place, where it is differentiated into two types. One is primary and a secondary. Likewise, a decomposition, the converting of the complex inorganic complex conversion, breaking down of complex organic substances into a simple inorganic substances, then we can call as a decomposition. So here there are 5 steps are presenting in a decomposition. First one is the fragmentation of detritus, and second one is leaching, third one is catabolism, and fourth one is humidification, and lastly that is the mineralization. So these are the 5 steps where they are presenting in a decomposition, and it is very an important topic. It is important question in a board exam. What is decomposition? Explain the steps involved in a decomposition. Next, coming to the third one, that is an energy flow. Energy flow. So here energy flow means the transferring of energy from one tropical level to the another tropical level. The transferring of energy from one tropical level to another tropical level. So that is we can call as an energy flow. So here the energy is flowing is taken place from a producers to the consumers. So here the consumers are, there are 3 types of consumers. One is a primary, a secondary, and the tertiary consumers. So these are the 3 types of consumers where they are taken place, where the energy is transferring from producers to the consumers, where in a tropical level the producers are occupied at the base of the tropical level, and consumers, tertiary consumers, are present at the an apex of the, that is it is present in it is a bottom, and the top of the consumers are presenting the tertiary consumers are presenting. And here that is taken place, that means how the energy flow is taken place in an organism. Here it is with the help of a food chain. Here with the help of a food chain. Food chain means the transferring series of changes taken place in a repeating organisms by eating up, that means eating and being eaten. Eating and being eaten is taken place, so that we can call this as a food chain. That is a series of organisms with repeated process. Series of organisms, repeated process, eating and and being eaten up, or being eating and being eaten, then we can call this as a food chain. That is, here the food chain, it is series of organisms, repeated process where eating and being eaten. That means the organisms, for example, if we take here an example, if is taken here a grass, that is a grass. Grass is eaten by a grasshopper. Grasshopper is eaten by a frog, and the frog is eaten by a snake. So this is an example where the energy that is eaten up, that means repeating process of eaten and being eaten. That means grass is eaten by the grasshopper is eaten by the frog is eaten by the snake. So here the snake is eaten by the fowl, it is by owl or eagle. We can take in place the snake is eaten by an eagle. Here a snake is eaten by eagle. So here this is eating, that means eating and being eaten by the other organisms. So here the energy is transferring from one level to another level. The energy is transferring. So this type of energy flow we can call as energy transferring, we can call as the energy flow. How this energy is taken place or synthesized. So in an ecosystem, here we know that in an ecosystem there are green plants, phytoplanktons are presenting, where along with photosynthetic bacteria are presenting. These photosynthetic bacteria will absorb the sunlight. That is, by taking off the inorganic, that means in an ecosystem, here are the plants, that is green plants phytoplanktons, and the photosynthetic bacteria. These are taken place by, these are absorbed by a simple inorganic the substances along with the sunlight. So here the sunlight is a source of an energy for all living organisms. So here, except in photothermal in oceans, except in photothermal plants and photothermal oceans, here photothermal. In these, except in oceans where where life is not penetrated, that region we can call as photothermal region of oceans. Except that region, on all the organisms, the sunlight is a source of an energy. The sunlight is a source of energy. Either it is directly or indirectly. So here it is taken place only 5 to 2 to 10% of sunlight is utilized by the plants in the form of PAR, that is PAR. PAR means photosynthetically active radiation. That means sunlight is taken place in plants. Here the photosynthesis, the sunlight which is absorbed, here in plants it is taken place 2 to 10% of sunlight. The light is utilized for photosynthesis, in the form of a PAR. PAR means photosynthetically an active radiation. active radiation. So this process we can call as the PAR. PAR means photosynthetically an active radiation is we can call as the PAR, where the amount of energy sustained and entire living world. That means here energy is capturing and it is a transfer in an ecosystem. That means this energy which is presenting the sunlight, the plants which is used in the form of photosynthetic active radiations that are utilized, the plants synthesize energy and they prepare their food materials, and that is transfer in different regions of, that means in ecosystem, that is transfer by different tropical levels. This energy is transported in the form of a food chains that is transferring, and also here the energy, that is the source of energy, that means energy flow which is presenting, that is we can call as unidirectional. Here it is a unidirectional, that means it is transferring from one tropical level to the another tropical level only. Again it will not be reverse condition, that is only in only one direction only it is transferring, that is uni means single direction, that is transferring of energy from one organism to the another organism in the form of a unidirectional. That is will be taken place in the form of an unidirectional, which is taken place in each tropical levels it is taken place. And also the flow of energy in an ecosystem is absolutely the flow of energy. The flow of energy in an ecosystem is according to the taken place by a principle, that is thermodynamics, first law of thermodynamics, that will be taken place. How will taken place we will discuss. So here according to the thermodynamics, according to the thermodynamics, here it shows that the law of the energy, that is how the energy is taken place according to the thermodynamics. First law will shows that the first law will shows that energy is neither created nor destroyed, but is transferring from one form to the another form. It is taken place. That is here it is taken place. That is energy is neither created nor destroyed, but it is transferring, but it is a transfer from one form to the another form, one form to the another form. That is here the sunlight is converting into a potential energy. That is the sunlight is radiant energy is converted into a potential energy. Radiant energy is converted into a potential energy in the form of a glucose. So here the plants which is prepare the food, they take the sunlight and by the simple inorganic substances, that is carbon dioxide, water and the sunlight and the chlorophyll, in presence of chlorophyll pigments, they prepare the energy, they prepare their whole food material by the process of a photosynthesis, where radiant energy is converted into a potential and energy it is converted. And according to the, and also here it shows the energy transferring in a universe will always remains a constant. That means here the energy for transferring from one form to another form, here the energy is always a constant only, will not be a changes. And also according to the second law, here it shows that the energy transfer is accomplished with a distribution of the energy. That is, some energy is some amount of energy is losses in the form of heat according to the second law. According to the second law, here it shows that the energy which is presenting that will be distributed. That means energy is loss in the form of heat. That means only a certain amount of energy only will transfer from one tropical level to another tropical level, and remaining energy which is present in an organisms, that is in an organism from one tropical level to another tropical level, that will be lost in the form of heat or in the form of respiration. Here that is be losses in the form of the lossing will be taken place in these conditions. So here will shows that the 10% law. Here it shows that according to this, here it shows that a 10% of a law where it was discovered by Landman. It was discovered by the Landman. Here it was discovered by the Landman. According to 10% of law, only a 10% of energy, 10% of energy is transferring from one tropical level to another tropical level, one tropical level to another tropical level, and remaining 90% is utilized in the form of either in the form of a respiration or in the form of a heat. In the form of that means 90% of the energy is utilized for their metabolical and activities in the form of respiration, and only here, and otherwise that will be lost in the form of heat or in the form of a decomposition. That energy will be taken place, that 90% will be losing in the form of a respiration, a heat, as well as and a decomposition or wasted. Respiration, decomposition and wasted in the form of heat will be taken place, the 90%. So this law was called as a 10% of law, where it was discovered by Landman, where he explains that only a 10% of energy is transferring from one tropical level to another tropical level, and 90% is utilized in the form of respiration or in the respiration and decomposition, and also and remaining will be wasted in the form of a heat. It will be taken place that we can call as a 10% of a law, where here it is shows here this thermodynamics laws will show that means energy flow which is presenting here. We can use the word as the bioenergetic. It is also we can use the word as a bioenergetic. It is called, where here the bio means living energy. That means energy, flowing of energy in a living organism from one tropical level to the another tropical level. So here we can call as bioenergetic. We can use the word as energy flow. We can call as an energetic, bioenergetic also. And here in a food chain, what you have studied, here in the food chain, here the producers will consist of producers, from producers to the consumers, that is the consumers will having primary, secondary and a tertiary consumers. So from where it is transferring from one level to another level, so here the food is transferring from one level to another level, from producers to the consumers. Here the losing of energy, only a 10% of energy only will be transferring, and remaining will be lost in the form of either respiration or in the form of heat it is losing. So in the top of the ecosystem, that is in the top of the ecosystem, that means the tertiary consumers will contains a very less amount of energy will be taken place in a tertiary consumers, and in producers will having high amount of energy will be presenting, where they are the producers, they synthesize their own food materials. So again here will having more energy is presenting in food materials when compared to the tertiary a consumer, that is topmost layer, the topmost tertiary a consumers, very less amount of energy will be taken place. And also here we have taken place a grazing food chain as well as the detritus food chains will can taken place in their grazing food chain or detritus. Here will having the ethane, that means a connection of various types. Here the connectioning, we can use another word, that is a food verb. We can use the word as a food verb. What is a food verb? Means the connectioning of various food chains, the connectioning of various food chains, food chains, then we can call that as a food web. Web means here, for example, grass is eaten by the grasshopper, and also that is eaten by the insects. So here that are different, where that means one tropical level will be occupied by various types of organisms, so that are eaten by various organisms were eaten by, that is several food chains connecting of various food chains. That food chains are interconnected with one another to form a food verb. So that here when food verbs are forming here, either in the form of grazing food chains or in the form of detritus food chains. Here in detritus food chains will having the detrivores, that is the bacteria or fungus. Here these are the detrivorous organisms, where they are also acts as the saprophytic organisms. They acts as the saprophytic organism. That means they are depending on dead and decaying organic matters. So here these detrivorous will helpful for the recycling of the materials will be taken place by with the help of the saprophytic organisms. Where here we can take place an example, that is grazing food chain as well as the detrivorous food chains. We can take place an example for the food chain, how the energy is losing in the form of a 10% of LR, where from producers levels to the tertiary consumers. So here that will be taken place in the 10% of LR we can taken place, and also here this organisms will occupy various types of organisms. Here herbivores, carnivores, and also the omnivores will be presenting in these the consumer levels. So here they occupy different regions where we can take place as a food web. That is, food web means it is the connectioning of a food web. It is the connectioning of various food chains. So here we'll having this is we can take place and a food webs. And also if you see in here the standard crop. What is the standard crop? Means in each tropical level have certain amount of living matter at a particular time. That means the amount of living matter standard crop. We can use the word as the standard. Here we can call that as a standard crop. Standing crop. Standing crop. What is the standing crop? Means the amount of biomass present in each tropical level. In each tropical level, each tropical level will having the living, each tropical level having living biomass at a particular time, then it is called as the standard crop. So what is the standard crop? Means in each tropical level, that means when food is transferring, that means energy is transferring, some amount of biomass is presenting at a particular time, the amount of biomass which is presenting, then we can use the word as the standard crop. So here the standard crop will express in the form of fresh weight or in the form of dry weight, or it is also presenting in herbivores to the producers. It is 10% it is presenting, and it is transferring from carnivores feeding herbivores would having 0.2 joules of energy of a flesh will be taken place. That is, here will transferring according to 10%, only a 10% of biomass is presenting from one level to the another tropical level, that is biomass which is present in living organisms. So here already we have discussed the example for the herbivores, that is grading food chain, as well as the detritus food chains, where we can call as a food verb, where here it is a network of several food chains where we can take on place. And now coming to the next, the second one is the ecological pyramids. Ecological pyramids. So here coming to the second one. Second one, that is we can call that as the ecological pyramids. So what are these ecological pyramids? Here ecological, that means ecosystem, that means these are the graphical representation of ecological parameters present in various tropical levels, with producers at the producers at the base and carnivores at the top. So that we can call as an ecological pyramids. So what are ecological pyramids? Ecological pyramids. So what are ecological pyramids? Means here it is defined as a graphical representation of tropical levels. The tropical representation of the ecological parameters. Ecological parameters of the tropical ecological parameters. So ecological parameters present in an present ecological parameters present in various tropical a graphical representation of ecological parameters in various tropical levels, where the producers are base of the pyramid, and consumers are top of the pyramids. So here will be, that means graphical representation. So that graphical, for example, if you taken place, this is a graphical representation. So this graphical representation will be taken place the higher, that is here, these are producers, these are primary consumers, these are secondary consumers, and a tertiary consumers, where the example we can taken place. In example, if we taken place, the producers are at the base and consumers are at the top, where that are the primary producers are at the base, and primary consumers, that is consumers are primary, secondary, and tertiary consumers, they are presenting at the top of the pyramids. These are taken place. So this type of graphical representation which is taken place in an organism, we can call this as the ecological pyramids. So here there are, importantly, the tropical levels, there are three type of an ecological pyramids are presenting. There are three types of an ecological pyramids are presenting. There are three types of an ecological types of pyramids. So there are three types of pyramids are presenting. One we can call as pyramid of number. Next, second one is a pyramid of biomass. And third one, the pyramid of energy. The pyramid of the energy, that is here these are the three types of the consumers, that is three types of pyramids are presenting, that is pyramid of number, pyramid of biomass, and a pyramid of energy. So here in the pyramid of number and a pyramid of biomass, in pyramid of number and a pyramid of biomass, the producers are at the base of the produce, they are presented, the producers are present at the base of the pyramid, and the carnivores, the tertiary consumers are present at the top of the consumers, that is taken place. But here in the pyramid of number, if it taken place in a tree ecosystem, in a tree dominated ecosystem, that is tree dominated an ecosystem, here the pyramid of number is an inverted, it is presenting, it is an inverted, it is presenting, where the number, the large tree is only one is presenting, that is eaten by the insects, smalls are presenting, that insects are eaten by the more number of birds are presenting. So here number is a layer, that is inverted in a tree dominated, in a pyramid of number, the tree dominated ecosystem will having, it is an inverted an ecosystem, it is presenting. And also in the pyramid of the biomass also, a pyramid of the biomass. Biomass means here the weight of an organism. That is in all of this here it is an upright in condition. It is always it is in an upright is presenting. It is also in pyramid of number always that are upright, but in a tree dominated it is an inverted, it is a presenting. And here if you see in all the biomass it is in always the upright, but in it is seen in oceans, in a ocean populated, that is in a sea ecosystem. A sea ecosystem, a sea ecosystem, here it is an inverted, it is an inverted sea ecosystem. Why means here phytoplanktons are eaten by the zooplanktons are eaten by the small fishes are eaten by the large fishes. So here the biomass of the fishes, the large fishes are biomass will be more is presenting than the small fish, than the zooplanktons, than the phytoplanktons. So in an sea ecosystem here the pyramid of biomass is always it is in a sea ecosystem it is inverted, but it is in pyramid of biomass in all ecosystem it is the more in number, it is always in upright only, but in a sea ecosystem it is an inverting an ecosystem is a presenting. Next here pyramid of energy, here of the pyramid of energy is always an upright only. Here there is no inverted, that means the energy is transferring from one level to another tropical level. Here the always energy is always the upright only. Upright means the producers are present at the base and the consumers are present at the topmost layer, that is the tertiary consumers will occupy the topmost, the tertiary, that is the top of the pyramid. So here when transferring here the 10% of energy is losing, that is the 10% law will taken place here. Only 10% of energy is transferring from one tropical level to the another tropical. Why it is always upright in pyramid of energy means here 10% of energy is transferring from one tropical level to another tropical level, and remaining 90% of energy is utilized, that is taken place in the form of respiration, utilized in the form of respiration, or it is in the form of loss in the form of heat. Only 10% is transferring from one tropical level to another tropical level, so that the pyramid of energy is always the upright in a conditions only. So these are the three type of pyramids, that is a pyramid of number, a pyramid of biomass, as well as a pyramid of the energy. So here this energy, that is a tree dominated, already said in a forest, otherwise you can take an forest and ecosystem. Here it is always it is an inverted, or it is in the form of a spindle shaped, or otherwise if you biomass, if you say in here it is a biomass. In biomass it is always in a fish dominated biomass, that is in ecosystem, sea ecosystem. Here it is always an inverted, but energy, pyramid of energy is always an upright only. Why means only 10% of energy is transferring from one level to the another level, and remaining 90% is lost in the form of the energy. Sorry, that is loss in the form of heat, not energy. It is loss in the form of heat, or in the form of the 90% of energy is utilized for the respiration, or in the form of heat, that is losing. So the always the pyramid of number is always the upright in a conditions. And also here the ecological pyramids is also called as an Eltonian pyramids also. It is also called as the Eltonian pyramids. Why it is called as an Eltonian pyramids means it was introduced by the English. It is inverted by the English. So here it was introduced by the an English a biologist, that is called as name called as Charles Elton. So here it was introduced by the Charles Elton. So instead of his name, these pyramids are also called as an Eltonian pyramids. Why ecological pyramids are also called as an Eltonian pyramid means it was introduced by an English biologist, that is called as the Charles Elton. So instead of his name, we can call them as an Eltonian pyramids also. And coming to the lastly, that is taken place in the limitations of an ecological pyramids. So in the limitations, if you see in here limitations, in each tropical level they have a different type of, that means each tropical in this that means in each tropical level they having a different same ecosystem will occupied by different tropical and eco levels. That is species which are present in one tropical level species will occupy a different and ecological system can be occupied. So here if it is taken place, a sparrow is a primary consumer, that is eats fruits, seeds, pears, etc. So secondary consumers, it also eats in insects and it also insects and worms. That is occupied. That means these tropical level, that means the ecosystem, that means the species which are present in an ecosystem will occupy a different tropical ecological system will be occupying. That is first one. And second one, here it shows that human beings in the food chain shows different and ecological pyramids. It shows an ecological pyramid. That means in food chain, first one is here limitations. Limitations of ecological pyramids. So here in a species, that means in tropical level, each in an ecosystem, individual species will occupies. That means in an ecosystem, each tropical level is occupied by each tropical level. Each tropical level is occupied by the same type of species. The same type of species. Why means example if you taken place, if you taken sparrow, it is eats fruits, nuts and peas, and also they eat the insects and worms also. So it is occupied, that means same types of species will occupy this in an ecosystem. Each tropical level is occupied by same type of species. And also here humans also will having different tropical, humans also has a different tropical levels. Different tropical has a different tropical levels. Example means here there are humans are the omnivorous. And also lastly here the saprophytes are not given in ecological pyramid. Saprophytes are not given any role. They are not given any role in the ecological pyramids. So these are the limitations of an ecological pyramids. So in next class we'll discuss that is the ecological succession as well as the nutrient cycles that will be discussed in the next class.